Your bank account isn't broken. Your mind is. Every morning, millions of people check their phones to see how much money they have, but they never check their minds to see how many limiting beliefs they're carrying. They've convinced you that your financial struggles are about economics when they're really about psychology. They've made you believe that your income is determined by the market when it's actually determined by your mental programming. They've sold you the greatest lie in history, that your wealth is controlled by external forces when it's really controlled by your internal software. And the most brilliant part, they've got you defending this lie, protecting this programming, and passing this poverty mindset to the next. Stop lying to yourself. You're not broke because of the economy. You're broke because you believe the lie that working hard is enough. Every day, millions of people break their backs working 60-hour weeks, thinking their dedication will lead to wealth, while the elite are laughing their way to the bank, knowing that hard work alone is the biggest scam they've sold to the masses. They've programmed you to believe that your time equals money, when in reality they're using systems to multiply their wealth while you're still trading hours for dollars. It's not your fault, it's by design. The wealthy have masterfully created a system where you're too exhausted from working to realize you're being played. The truth you're about to hear will make some of you uncomfortable. It might even make you angry, but that discomfort you're feeling, that anger rising in your chest, that's the sound of your old beliefs crumbling. That's the sensation of real transformation beginning. What's the real difference between you and someone who makes 10 times your income? 20 times? 100 times? Is it talent? Education? Lucky breaks? The wealthy elite want you to believe it's any of those things. But the real difference is much simpler and much more profound. The difference is in the questions they ask themselves every single day. While you're asking, how can I make more money? They're asking, how can I create more value? While you're wondering, how can I get a better job? They're pondering, how can I solve bigger problems? While you're thinking, how can I work harder? They're strategizing, how can I leverage my efforts? Every morning you wake up and follow a routine designed by someone else. You eat breakfast at a certain time because it fits your work schedule. You dress in a certain way because it meets someone else's dress code. You arrive at work at a specific time because someone else decided that's when your day should begin. And you call this normal. You call this responsible. You call this the way things are. But here's what the wealthy elite don't want you to realize. Everything you call normal was designed by someone who benefits from your acceptance of it. The 5-day work week, someone designed that. The 8-hour work day, someone created that. The trade your time for money system, someone engineered that. And none of these people were thinking about your freedom, your wealth, or your fulfillment when they designed these systems. Think about this. The most dangerous prison is the one where the inmates don't see the bars. The most effective trap is the one where the captured don't realize they're caught. The most powerful limitation is the one where the limited believe they're free. And right now, you're living in a prison of beliefs about money, success, and wealth that were handed to you by people who benefit from your captivity. The wealthy elite have created an elaborate maze where the cheese is just big enough to keep you running, but never enough to set you free. They've designed a game where you think you're a player, but you're actually a piece on their board. They've constructed a reality where you believe you're making choices, but you're selecting from options they've predetermined for you. Let me share something that shocked you. Your financial situation right now isn't a reflection of your potential. It's a reflection of programming. Every belief you hold about money, every habit you have around wealth, every decision you make about your finances was programmed into you by a system that profits from your limitations. You've been taught that debt is normal, that living paycheck to paycheck is just how life works. That trading time for money is the only way to earn a living. That working for someone else for 40 years is the responsible path to take. But who taught you these things? And more importantly, who benefits from you believing them? The wealthy elite don't want you to know that the game is rigged, but not in the way you think. It's not rigged against you succeeding. It's rigged against you even trying. They've created a system where most people are so focused on surviving that they never start thriving. They're so busy making a living that they never build a life. They're so occupied with today's problems that they never solve tomorrow's opportunities. Your mind has been carefully programmed to accept mediocrity as realistic, to view struggle as normal, to see limitation as responsible. You've been conditioned to believe that wanting more is greedy, that pursuing wealth is shallow, that thinking big is unrealistic. And every time you accept these beliefs, every time you comply with these limitations, every time you play by these rules, you're doing exactly what the wealthy elite want you to do. But tonight something changes. Tonight we're going to begin the process of deprogramming these limiting beliefs. We're going to start dismantling the mental prison that's been built around your potential. We're going to begin replacing the software of scarcity with the operating system of abundance. The most dangerous chains are the ones you can't see. Right now, you're wearing invisible chains that limit your potential, restrict your actions, and constrain your future. These chains weren't forged from iron or steel. They were crafted from beliefs, molded from habits, and strengthened by daily repetition. Let me share a truth that the wealthy elite desperately try to hide. Success leaves clues. Wealth leaves footprints. Prosperity leaves a trail. But they've convinced you to look in all the wrong places. They've trained you to focus on the results while ignoring the process, to see the destination while missing the path, to admire the mansion while overlooking the blueprint. Every day, you make hundreds of decisions that either move you toward wealth or push you deeper into scarcity. Every choice, every action, every response is either breaking those invisible chains or reinforcing them. The wealthy elite understand this principle deeply, which is why they focus obsessively on their daily habits and routines. Think about your morning routine. What's the first thing you do when you wake up? Check your phone, watch the news, rush to work. Each of these habits seems innocent enough, but they're part of a carefully designed system to keep you reactive instead of proactive, stressed instead of strategic, busy instead of productive. The wealthy elites start their days differently. They don't begin by consuming, they begin by creating. They don't start with reaction, they start with intention. They don't jump into action, they pause for direction. While you're starting your day in reaction mode, they're starting their day in creation mode. But here's what they really don't want you to know. This isn't about natural talent or inborn abilities. It's about daily habits, consistent choices, and intentional actions. The gap between where you are and where you want to be isn't a matter of capability, it's a matter of consistency. Consider this as a very wealthy person you admire. Every successful individual you respect, every prosperous entrepreneur you follow started exactly where you are, with a decision to think differently, a decision to act differently, a decision to become different. The wealthy elite have mastered the art of decision making. While others make decisions based on their current circumstances, they make decisions based on their desired future. While others choose from the options presented to them, they create new options. While others decide what's possible based on their resources, they decide what's necessary based on their vision in life right now. Every aspect of it is the result of decisions you've made and decisions you've avoided making. Your bank account balance isn't just a number, it's feedback. Your income isn't just a paycheck, it's a reflection. Your financial situation isn't just circumstances, it's consequences. And here's the liberating truth. Just as decisions got you here, new decisions can get you somewhere else. Just as habits created your current reality, new habits can create a new reality. Just as daily choices led to your present situation, different daily choices can lead to a different situation. The wealthy elite don't want you to realize that transformation is available to anyone willing to make new decisions and stick with them. They don't want you to understand that success is simply the natural result of consistently better choices. They certainly don't want you to grasp that wealth is the inevitable outcome of daily disciplines maintained over time. Think about water for a moment. At room temperature, it's a liquid. At 32 degrees, it becomes a solid. At 212 degrees, it becomes a steam that can power engines. The water doesn't change, the temperature does. And just like water, you don't need to change who you are, fundamentally. You just need to raise your standards, elevate your expectations, increase your consistency. The wealthy elite have created a world where the masses are so distracted by quick fixes and instant solutions that they never develop the discipline of daily improvement. They've engineered a society where people are so focused on the end result that they never master the daily process. Let me ask you something. If you keep making the same decisions you're making today, where will you be in 5 years, in 10 years, in 20 years? The wealthy elite are betting that you'll be in basically the same place, dealing with the same struggles, fighting the same battles. But what if you started making different decisions? What if you began developing different habits? What if you chose to create different daily disciplines? The wealthy elite don't want you to realize that small changes, maintained consistently over time, create massive results. If you improve just one each day, by the end of 1 year, you'll be 37 times better. Not 365 better, 37 times better. That's the power of compound improvement. That's the force of consistent growth. That's the impact of daily disciplines. So you guys about to understand something profound. It isn't about intensity. It's about consistency. It's not about making radical changes. It's about making better decisions daily. It's not about transformation in a moment. It's about transformation over time. Your future isn't determined by big dramatic decisions. It's shaped by small daily choices. Your destiny isn't created in moments of inspiration. It's forged in moments of decision. Your success isn't waiting for someday. It's being built or destroyed by what you choose to do today. The wealthy elite have mastered the art of leveraging time. While others try to manage time, they invest it. While others spend time, they multiply it. While others kill time, they leverage it. And they do this through the power of daily disciplines, through the force of consistent habits, through the impact of better decisions. Your current habits are perfectly designed to produce your current results. Your present routines are precisely engineered to create your present reality. Your existing disciplines are exactly calibrated to generate your existing outcomes. If you want different results, you need different habits. If you want a new reality, you need new routines. If you want better outcomes, you need better disciplines. You keep waiting for your life to change, but let me tell you something profound. Change doesn't come from waiting, it comes from action. The wealthy elite understand something that they've carefully hidden from the masses. The universe doesn't reward good intentions. It rewards bold actions while you're planning, preparing, and waiting for the perfect moment. They're moving, acting, and creating their moments. Let me ask you a question that might make you uncomfortable. How many books have you bought but haven't read? How many courses have you purchased but haven't completed? How many ideas have you had but haven't acted on? The wealthy elite don't want you to realize that knowledge without action is just entertainment. Information without implementation is just distraction. Here's the truth that will transform your life forever. The gap between knowing and doing is wider than the gap between ignorance and knowledge. Most people think they have a knowledge problem. What they really have is an action problem. They keep accumulating information, collecting strategies, gathering insights, but they never cross the bridge from knowing to doing. The wealthy elite have masterfully created a world where the masses are so busy consuming information that they never get around to implementing it. They've engineered a society where people are so focused on learning more that they never start applying what they already know. Think about it. How much of what you already know are you currently applying? Your potential is like a muscle. It grows through use and atrophies through neglect. Every time you know what to do but don't do it, you're not just maintaining the status quo. You're actively weakening your ability to take action in the future. The wealthy elite understand this principle deeply, which is why they're constantly in motion, constantly taking action, constantly implementing what they learn. Consider this. Every successful person you admire has less information than you think, but takes more action than you imagine. They don't succeed because they know more. They succeed because they do more with what they know. While others are trying to learn everything before they start, they're learning through action, growing through implementation, succeeding through constant motion. But here's what the wealthy elite really don't want you to understand. Action isn't just about movement. It's about momentum. Every action you take makes the next action easier. Every step you take makes the next step more natural. Every decision to move forward makes future forward decisions more automatic. Think about the last time you felt stuck. Was it really because you didn't know what to do? Or was it because you weren't doing what you knew? The wealthy elite have created a brilliant deception. They've convinced you that you need more information when what you really need is more implementation. Your life changes the moment you move from knowing to doing. Your results transform the instant you shift from learning to applying. Your future alters the second you transition from planning to acting. But the wealthy elite don't want you to make this connection. They want you to stay in the comfortable realm of knowledge acquisition rather than the challenging world of knowledge application. Let me share something powerful with you. The most dangerous word in your vocabulary is tomorrow. Every time you postpone action, you're not just delaying success, you're actively choosing failure. Every time you say, I'll start tomorrow, you're not just pushing pause on your dreams, you're pressing play on your limitations. The wealthy elite have mastered the art of immediate action. While others are waiting for the right time, they're making the time right. While others are looking for perfect conditions, they're creating conditions that work. While others are seeking guarantees, they're taking calculated risks. Consider the last 5 years of your life. What have you been meaning to do? What have you been planning to start? What have you been waiting to act on? Now imagine where you could be if you had started 5 years ago. The wealthy elite don't want you to realize that the best time to start was yesterday, and the second best time is right now. But here's what they really don't want you to know. Action isn't about being ready. It's about being willing. It's not about having all the answers. It's about being ready to find them along the way. It's not about knowing every step. It's about being willing to take the first step. Your fear of failure isn't protecting you. It's imprisoning you. Your need for certainty isn't serving you. It's sabotaging you. Your desire for perfection isn't helping you. It's hindering you. The wealthy elite understand that success isn't about avoiding failures. It's about failing forward, failing faster, failing better. Think about this deeply. Every successful person you admire has failed more times than you've even tried. Every wealthy individual you respect has made more mistakes than you've even attempted. Every prosperous entrepreneur you follow has had more setbacks than you've even risked. The wealthy elite have created a system where the masses are so afraid of failing that they never start succeeding. They've engineered a society where people are so worried about making mistakes that they never make progress. They've designed a world where people are so concerned about looking foolish that they never look successful. But here's the transformative truth. Action always beats intention. Implementation always defeats information. Movement always trumps meditation. The wealthy elite don't want you to grasp that while you're thinking about it, someone else is doing it. While you're planning it, someone else is practicing it. While you're dreaming about it, someone else is delivering it. Your life will never change until your actions change. Your results will never improve until your implementations improve. Your future will never transform until your movements transform. The wealthy elite understand this principle deeply, which is why they focus relentlessly on action, consistently on implementation, obsessively on movement. Consider this final truth. The only difference between where you are and where you want to be is the actions you haven't taken yet. The only gap between your current reality and your desired future is the implementations you haven't made yet. The only distance between your present and your potential is the movements you haven't started yet. The most expensive real estate in the world isn't in the heart of any major city. It's between your ears. Your mind is the only piece of property that can produce unlimited returns, generate infinite wealth, and create boundless opportunities. But the wealthy elite have convinced you to rent out this priceless property for pennies on the dollar. Every thought you think is either an investment in your future or a withdrawal from your potential. Every belief you hold is either appreciating or depreciating your mental real estate. Every idea you entertain is either building equity in your mind or creating debt in your spirit. The wealthy elite understand this principle deeply, which is why they guard their mental territory with unwavering vigilance. I can ask you something that might shake you to your core. Who's programming your mind right now? What thoughts are you allowing to take up residence in your mental real estate? Whose beliefs are you permitting to build permanent structures in your consciousness? The wealthy elite don't want you to realize that your mind is being colonized by ideas that serve their interests, not yours. Here's a truth that will revolutionize your life. Your thoughts are not your own. Your beliefs are not your creation. Your mindset is not your design. Every limitation you accept, every doubt you harbor, every fear you embrace was planted there by someone who benefits from your mental containment. Think about your relationship with money. When you see someone driving an expensive car, what's your first thought? When you hear about someone making millions, what's your initial reaction? When you think about wealth, what emotions surface? The wealthy elite have programmed specific responses into your mental software, responses that keep you exactly where they want you. But here's what they really don't want you to know. Your mind is the only technology that improves with use. While machines wear down, your mind builds up. While equipment depreciates, your thinking appreciates. While technology becomes obsolete, your mental capacity becomes more valuable. If you use it correctly, consider this, every wealthy person you admire started with the same basic mental equipment you have. They weren't born with special brain cells or premium cognitive features. What they did differently was simple but profound. They took control of their mental real estate and started developing it intentionally. The wealthy elite have mastered the art of mental development. While others are watching mindless entertainment, they're engaging in mindful education. While others are consuming mental junk food, they're feeding their minds premium fuel. While others are letting their thoughts run on autopilot, they're programming their minds with purpose. Your current financial situation is nothing but a printout of your mental software. Your bank balance is simply a reflection of your belief balance. Your income is merely a manifestation of your internal programming. The wealthy elite understand that to change your external world, you must first upgrade your internal operating system. Let me share something powerful with you. The thoughts you think most often become the neural pathways you travel most easily. The beliefs you reinforce most frequently become the reality you experience most consistently. The mindset you maintain most regularly becomes the life you live most naturally. But the wealthy elite don't want you to grasp this truth. They want you to believe that your thoughts are random, that your beliefs are fixed, that your mindset is permanent. They've created a world where the masses are so busy dealing with daily survival that they never engage in mental revival. Think about your daily mental diet. What are you feeding your mind? What information are you consuming? What conversations are you engaging in? The wealthy elite know that your mind will manifest whatever you feed it most consistently, whether that's scarcity or abundance, limitation or possibility, fear or courage. Your mental real estate is either appreciating or depreciating every single day. Every thought you allow to take root, every belief you permit to grow, every idea you choose to nurture is either increasing or decreasing your mental property value. But here's the game-changing truth. You are the developer of your mental territory. The wealthy elite have created a brilliant distraction. They've got you so focused on external development that you've neglected your internal real estate. They've convinced you to invest in everything except the one piece of property that could make all other investments unnecessary, your mind. We've heard of this deeply. Every fortune in the world started as a thought. Every empire began as an idea. Every transformation commenced as a decision. The wealthy elite don't want you to realize that the same mental equipment that built their fortunes is sitting right between your ears, waiting to be developed. But here's what they really don't want you to know. Mental development isn't about learning more. It's about implementing what you learn. It's not about gathering information. It's about applying insights. It's not about collecting knowledge. It's about converting knowledge into action. Your mind is like a plot of land. Its value isn't in what it is, but in what you develop it to become. The wealthy elite understand this principle deeply, which is why they're constantly developing their mental real estate, consistently upgrading their cognitive infrastructure, continuously expanding their psychological architecture. Think about the last time you had $1 million idea. What did you do with it? Did you develop it, or did you dismiss it? Did you nurture it, or did you neglect it? Did you build it, or did you bury it? The wealthy elite don't want you to understand that the difference between them and you isn't the quality of ideas. It's the development of those ideas. The most valuable development you'll ever undertake is the development of your mind. The most profitable investment you'll ever make is the investment in your thinking. The most significant growth you'll ever experience is the growth of your mental capacity. But the wealthy elite have convinced you look everywhere except within for the source of your wealth. Let me share something that might revolutionize your understanding of success. Your mind is like a garden. What you plant is what you grow. Every thought is a seed. Every belief is soil. Every repeated idea is fertilizer. The wealthy elite are master gardeners of their minds, carefully selecting what they plant, meticulously maintaining what they grow, and systematically removing what doesn't serve their harvest. Think about your mental garden right now. What seeds have you been planting? What beliefs have you been fertilizing? What thoughts have you been watering daily? The wealthy elite understand that your harvest of results is directly determined by your planting of thoughts. They know that you can't plant seeds of doubt and expect to harvest confidence. You can't sow limiting beliefs and reap unlimited success. Here's a truth that the wealthy elite work tirelessly to hide. Mental transformation isn't a random event. It's a deliberate process. Just as a gardener doesn't randomly throw seeds and hope for the best, you can't randomly consume information and expect optimal results. Every successful person you admire has learned to become the master gardener of their own mind. Your mind is constantly growing something. There's no such thing as mental neutral ground. Either you're growing the fruits of success or you're growing the weeds of mediocrity. The wealthy elite understand this principle deeply, which is why they're relentless about their mental cultivation. They know that neglect of their mental garden doesn't result in nothing growing. It results in anything growing. Consider the environment you've created in your mind. Is it fertile soil for success or toxic ground for failure? Is it rich earth for growth or barren land for limitation? The wealthy elite have mastered the art of creating optimal conditions in their mental garden. They understand that the same seed planted in different soil will produce different results. But here's the most powerful truth of all. You are the master gardener of your own mind. No one can plant thoughts in your mental garden without your permission. No one can grow beliefs in your psychological soil without your cooperation. No one can harvest results from your mental territory without your consent. The wealthy elite don't want you to realize that mental cultivation is a skill that can be developed, a process that can be mastered, a system that can be optimized. They want you to believe that your mental garden is at the mercy of external conditions, that your thought harvest is determined by circumstances beyond your control. Your future is being determined right now by what you're planting in your mental garden. Your destiny is being shaped by what you're allowing to grow in your psychological soil. Your success is being created by what you're choosing to cultivate in your mind's territory. The wealthy elite understand this principle deeply, which is why they're constantly weeding out limiting beliefs, consistently planting empowering thoughts, and continuously cultivating success-oriented mindsets. The time has come for you to take full ownership of your mental real estate. The moment has arrived for you to become the master gardener of your mind. The opportunity is here for you to transform your psychological soil from barren ground to fertile territory. But here's the ultimate truth. Your mind is the only piece of real estate that can produce unlimited returns, but only if you develop it with purpose, cultivate it with intention, and harvest it with action.